Good morning, everyone. Today, we will critically analyze the leadership style of two prominent international leaders, Santanu Narayan, CEO of Adobe, and Emmanuel Macron, President of France. This presentation is prepared for the International Leadership Module 7030 and aligns with our assignment requirements, which ask us to examine two leaders using leadership theories taught in class. Our team consists of names Neha, Sanita, Umesh, and Jatin. We will demonstrate how these leaders apply transformational descriptive characteristics and situational leadership models in practices. Our aim is not just to describe what these leaders do, but to critically evaluate their leadership efficiency, drawing on evidence, relevant theory, and real world contents. So, if we talk about in the presentation, we will explore leadership as defined in our module by Northhouse 2018, which emphasizes that leadership is a process involving influences that occurs within a group extent to achieve goals. Our assignments require us to critically analyze to international leaders. We have two dozen Shantanu Narayan, CEO of Adobe, and Emmanuel Macron, President of France. For Santanu Narayan, we will apply transformational leadership, which focuses on inspiring and motivating followers, and disruptive leadership, which involves driving organizational innovation and challenging norms. For Emmanuel Macron, we will apply charismatic leadership, which emphasizes personal charm and emotional influence, and Santanu situational leadership, which involves adapting leadership style to followers, competence, and commitment levels. Though the analysis we aim to critically evaluate how these leaders demonstrate different leadership theories in a practice and their efficiency in international consistency. If we talk about the leader profile, Narayan, our first chosen leader is Santanu Narayan, who has been the CEO of Adobe System since 2007. He was born in India and earned his bachelor's degree in electronics engineering before pursuing an MBA from the University of California, Berkeley. Under this leadership, Adobe and underwent a major transformation by shifting from box software products to cloud-based subscription services. This decision, through initially risk, has made Adobe one of the most successful SaaS companies globally. During his team, Adobe annual revenue increased significantly, growing from approximately $3 billion to over $15 billion. He has alone been recognized among the world's best CEOs by Barron's. This background provides the contents to analyze his leadership style through transformational and descriptive leadership theories in the upcoming slides. Then, if we talk about the transformational leadership, we will now analyze Shantanu Narayan's leadership style using transformational leadership theory developed by Bas in 1985. Transformational leadership is defined as a style where leaders inspire and motivate followers to achieve more than what is usually expected of them by transforming their attitudes, beliefs, and values. This approach comprises four key factors, often called the four I's. The first is idealized influence, where the leader acts as a strong role model with high ethical standards. Second is inspirational motivation, where leaders articulate to clear and attractive vision to inspire commitment. Third is intellectual stimulation, which involves encouraging innovations and creativity among followers. Finally, individualized considerations, where leaders attend to each follower's needs, acting as mentors and coaches to support their development. Transformational leadership has a forces on creating a strong vision, driving change, and developing this potential of followers, making it highly applicable to Narayan's leadership at Note. If we talk about the application of Santanu Narayan's, we will now apply transformation leadership theory to analyze Santanu Narayan leadership at Adobe. Firstly, under idealized influence, Narayan demonstrates strong vision when he led Adobe transition from traditional book software to cloud-based subscriptions. These decisions involve significant market risk, but position Adobe as an industry leader in digital media and SaaS. Secondly, inspirational motivation was evident in how we communicate, adopt new purpose to both employees and customers, fostering belief in the long-term strategy and motivating them to embrace change. Third, through intellectual stimulation, Narayan drove innovations by investing in AI-powered tools like Adobe Sensei and Fiercely, encouraging teams to think creatively and redefine digital design capability. Finally, individualization consideration is reflected in his commitment to building on uh, terms to think critically. Reflected to this commitment to building an inclusive culture at Adobe, he mentored failure leaders and prioritized employees' development through leadership programs and diversity initiatives. These examples illustrate how Narayan embodies transformational leadership by inspiring motivation and developing his employees to achieve Adobe strategic goals. If we talk about the evaluation transformation leadership, then we can say that having analyzed how Santanu Narayan applies transformation leadership, it is important to evaluate its strength and limitations. Firstly, a key strength of transformation leadership is that it drives innovation and strategic growth. This is evident at Adobe, where Narayan's visionary approach led to successful digital transformation and market leadership. Additionally, it builds his organizational commitment and motivation among employees as they feel inspired and part of larger purpose. However, there are more limitations. One is the potential over dependence and on the leaders' visions and charisma. Such if such leaders leave organization may struggle to maintain strategic direction. Another limitation is that developing a transformational culture is intensive. It requires significant investment in people development, vision building, and change management. Overall, while transformation leadership has driven Narayan's success to adopt, it must be complemented with robust system and term improvement to sustain long-term organizational growth. Now, this is from my part, and now I'm over to Jatin.
Thank you. Okay. So today we are gonna talk about the theory two, which is descriptive leadership. Nowadays, description is everywhere. So the second theory we will apply to Santanu Narayan's is descriptive leadership. And descriptive leadership is defined as a style where leaders challenge existing norms, drive innovations, and create market or organizational descriptions to remain competitive. So, according to some books like Bhavan and Kayao, so key characteristics of disruption leadership include challenging the status, so promoting innovations and adapting within the teams, and creating new standards that redefine the industry practices. So, this theory emphasizes the proactive changes rather than reactive adjustments, so making it highly relevant for leaders in technology driven industries like Adobe. In the upcoming slide, we will analyze how Narayan has demonstrated description leadership throughout his tenure at Adobe. So, application to Santara Narayan descriptive leadership. We will now apply the concept of descriptive leadership to Santhu Narayan's action as CEO of Abdomen. So, firstly, under his leadership, Abdomen from selling boxes software products to offering cloud-based subscription services. So, this decisions, descriptive traditional software distribution norms and set a new industry standard, demonstrating his willingness to challenging existing models for long-term growth. Secondly, Narayan, the integrated of AI such tools in Abdomen Sensei and Firefly. So enabling creativities to use advanced machine learning for design, marketing, and data analysis. This redefined how creative professionals approach their workflows, enhancing efficiency and innovation. So these examples highlight how Narayan embodies his description leadership by proactivating driving strategic change, challenging existing business norms, and positioning Abdomen as an innovative industry leader. So, going to the next slide, evolution descriptive leadership. Having analyzed how Santhu Narayan demonstrates his descriptive leadership, it is important to evaluate its strengths and limitations. One key strength is that descriptive leadership positions organizations ahead of competitors by driving continuous innovation. For example, Abdomen's early move to cloud service under Narayan's leadership gave it a significant competitive advantage in the software market. So, another strength is that it encourages adaptability and reliances within the teams, which is crucial in dynamic and technology driven industries. However, there are also limitations to this leadership style. Like descriptive changes often create organizational change fatigue. So, employees may feel overwhelmed by continuous transformation, leading to resistance or disengagement. Furthermore, descriptive leadership requires robust change and management process to implement efficiently. So, without careful planning, communication, and support structure, such transformational initiatives may fail or cause unidentified negative consequences as well. So, overall, while Narayan's descriptive leadership has driven Abdomen's growth and market leadership, it must be managed carefully to sustain employee engagement and long term organizational stability. So, next slide will be for the Umesh. Please take it.
Yeah, thank you, Jatin. Myself, Umesh. I am now going to leader profile Emmanuel Macron. Our second chosen leader is Emmanuel Macron, the president of France since 2017. Before his political entry, Macron worked as an investment banker and served as Minister of Economy, Industry, and Digital Affairs. Um, One of his key achievements is founding that centric political party La Republican in 2016 and winning the presidency within a year, which demonstrates his strongest political influence and public appeal. He also known for his strong voice in Europe Union politics and achieve and activate involvement in global climate change initiatives, and also positioning France as a leader in environment policy and diplomacy. His background provides context for analyzing Marcon's leadership style, choosing charismatic and situational leadership theories in upcoming slides. Next slide. Mm. So, first one, charismatic leadership. We will now analyze Emmanuel Macron's leadership using charismatic leadership theory provided by House in 1976. Charismatic leadership is defined as a style where leaders use their expression, charm, and emotional appeal to influence and inspire followers towards achieving goals. According to the House 1976, key characteristics of charismatic leadership include strong communication skills, the ability to frame an appealing voice, and creating a emotional connection with followers. Charismatic leadership build confidence and commitment through their personal imagistic, which generates loyalty and dedicates from their followers. This theory is highly applicable in political leadership, where the ability to emotionally engage the politic in critical to gaining and sustainable support. In the next slide, we are applying the charismatic to Emmanuel Macron leadership style as a president of France. Yeah, we will now apply the charismatic characteristics of charismatic leadership to Emmanuel Macron's political leadership style. Firstly, under vision forming, Marcon founded a La Republican and party in 2016, which is a vision of a progressive centric politics. That this includes an optimizing vision, appeals to wide range of voters, decision to won in 2017. Secondly, his emotional goals in evidence in his eloque and empathizes speeches, especially during a national crisis. For example, during the COVID-19 lockdown, his speeches conveys urgency while also requiring the public foresting until and compliance. Third, Marco's confidence and personal magistics, like helping him build public trust despite being a young, relatively new political figure. He confident decompose in debates in public emergence, strengthened his charismatic influence. This example shows that Marco demonstrated charismatic leadership by emotionally connecting with citizens, framing a compelling version, and projecting confidence, thereby mobilizing public support for his political initiatives. Uh, Go to next slide 14. Evaluating charismatic leadership. After analyzing Marco's charismatic leadership style, it is important to evaluate its strengths and limitations. One key strength is the charismatic leadership builds strong follower commitments and public trust. Marco's personal charm and vision motivation citizen to support a new political movement rapidly. Another strength is the ability to mobilize a diverse group through emotional appeal and visionary communications, which is crucial in political leadership for policy accept and public unity. However, there is also limitations. Over reliance on personal charisma can reduce participation decision making, as decisions may center around the leader's version rather than including consolation. Additionally, charismatic leadership may lack long-term stability in if the leader exists or lose public confidence, as the movement strength often depends on the leader's personal appeal rather than institution system. Overall, within Marcos, Charisma has strengthened his political leadership. It must be complicated by influencing governance structure to ensure sustainable policy implementation. Um, Now I will hand it over to Senator.
Yeah, thank you, Umesh, for explaining the Theory 1, Charismatic Leadership of the Emmanuel Macron. We will now analyze Emmanuel Macron's leadership using situational leadership theory developed by Hersey and Blanchard in 1969. Situational leadership is defined as an approach where leadership effectiveness depends on adapting one's style to the competence and commitment of followers. According to this model, there are four key leadership styles. First is directing, which involves high directive and low supportive behavior, focusing on clear instructions and task completion. Second is coaching, which combines high directive and high supportive behavior, involving both task guidance and socio-emotional support. Third is supporting, which is low directive but high supportive, facilitating follower confidence and involvement in decision making. Finally, delegating involves low directive and low supportive behavior, where followers are given autonomy to make decisions with minimal oversight. Situational leadership emphasizes flexibility and adaptability based on follower readiness levels, making it highly relevant for political leaders managing diverse stakeholder groups. In the next slide, we will now apply situational leadership theory to Emmanuel Macron's political leadership style. Firstly, during the COVID-19 crisis, Macron used a directing style. He announced nationwide lockdown with clear firm instructions emphasizing public health public health compliance to control the spread of the virus. Secondly, in managing pensions firms, he initially adapted a directing style by imposing proposed changes decisively. However, after public protest and union strikes, he shifted to a supporting style, engaging with stakeholders, facilitating discussions, and offering concessions to address citizen concerns. Thirdly, in European Union diplomacy, Macron often uses a delegating style. For instance, while he sets strategic directions on climate policy negotiations, he delegates detailed discussions to expert negotiators, showing trust in their competence and giving them autonomy. These examples illustrate Macron's situational leadership adaptability, adjusting his style based on follower competence, commitment, and contextual demands to achieve national and international objectives. In the next slide, after analyzing Macron's use of situational leadership, it is important to evaluate its strengths and limitations. One key strength is that situational leadership demonstrates flexibility. Macron adjusts his style based on the situation, for example, shifting from directive to supportive approaches when dealing with pension reforms or national crisis. Another strength is that it enhances leadership effectiveness by aligning style with followers' competence and commitment, as seen in his delegating style in European Union diplomatic negotiations. However, there are limitations. One is the complexity of accurately assessing follower competence and commitment, especially at a national scale involving millions of citizens with diverse backgrounds and needs. Additionally, the model has been criticized for lacking empirical validation in large scale political contexts as it was primarily developed for organizational leadership rather than national governments. Overall, while situational leadership provides Macron with flexibility and adaptability, it must be complemented by broader political frameworks and stakeholder engagement strategies for effective national leadership. Now, on the next slide, to conclude our analysis, we briefly compare how Shantanu Narayan and Emmanuel Macron use different leadership approaches effectively in their distinct contexts. Shantanu Narayan's style is rooted in transformation and disruptive leadership. He drives innovation, challenges market norms, and positions Adobe as a leader in digital transformation. In contrast, Emmanuel Macron relies on charismatic and situational leadership. His personal charisma and strong vision mobilize public support, while his situational adaptability allows him to adjust his leadership style to the needs of diverse stakeholder groups and crises. Both leaders demonstrate flexibility, but they operate in very different environments. Narayan's context is corporate and innovation driven, requiring technological disruption and internal cultural transformation. Macron's is national and political, requiring public trust, emotional connection, and diplomatic balancing. This shows that effective international leadership depends not only on personal style, but also on the ability to apply multiple theories according to context and follower needs. Now, on the last slide, in conclusion, this presentation has critically analyzed the leadership styles of Shantanu Narayan and Emmanuel Macron using four key theories from our module. We found that leadership effectiveness is highly context dependent. Shantanu Narayan's transformational and disruptive leadership styles have enabled Adobe to innovate continuously, disrupt markets, and build a future focused organizational culture. On the other hand, Emmanuel Macron's charismatic and situational leadership styles have helped him mobilize public support and adapt his approach to different national and international challenges. Overall, successful international leaders integrate multiple leadership theories and adapt their style to different contexts, follower needs, and organizational or national goals. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening. And our references are on the next slide. We have our references for the presentation, and these all are in APA 7 style. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.